Welcome to Issues of the Day, where we discuss key issues in the news. I am Nanda Deniji. Joining me today are Mr. Adeniran Demola and Mr. Rashid. Good morning, Mr. Rashid.
Thank you for having me.
On today's headlines, the Nigerian Bar Association elects Oyinkansola Badejo-Okusanya as its new president. 4 police officers arrested over the alleged extortion of ICPC Chairman Dr. Musa Aliyu. The Nigerian Bar Association has elected Oyinkansola Badejo-Okusanya as its new president, making her the second woman to lead the association. The election was conducted through an electronic voting system, with lawyers across the country taking part. Before the poll, some members raised concern about the transparency of the voting process. The election proceeded, and the official results declared Badejo-Okusanya the winner. Legal practitioners have congratulated the president-elect, while discussions continue about the conduct of the election. I don't know. Is it election everywhere in Nigeria has a problem? Be it the national, like even in associations, we're having this kind of problem whereby somebody wins an election and then people have to go back and say, no, I don't trust the voting process. I don't understand. Is it the people that have a problem, or is it the voting process that we're having problems with?
I think generally as a people, where I have a problem, I mean, this is not the first time the Nigerian Bar Association is having controversy over their elections. Yes, there was, I think, in 2021 or thereabouts, that they fought like NULTW back people over election, and because of that situation, they migrated the election away from paper balloting situation to electronic. Even as that, the common denomination, or rather, the common denominator still remains Nigerians and elections, and we don't like losing, and because we don't like losing, we have these issues.
Yeah, maybe it's even with the fact that it was a woman that won for the second time. I feel that is a problem for them as well.
It might be.
I think also the problem is that it's really not the medium through which, or the process through which we vote, that is the issue. It's the issue of how much do we trust the process, the fact. There's nothing wrong with paper balloting. Or quite often, there's the opposition, there's the protagonist, and the two of them don't trust each other. One is thinking that this guy is trying to rig me out of the election. The other is trying to thinking the same thing. And so they have this distrust going into the election. Depending on how the vote is going, you have to raise an early objection so that when at the end of the day, you actually spot something that is not quite right, you can just hang on to that and say, this thing has been compromised, and because of that. And that has always been the problem with elections in Nigeria in general. And people assume that, okay, bringing technology into play will simply solve all the problem. Just like a lot of people think that just flying drones around in forests we take care of bandits that are going. We have so much faith in technology until we start to see that the technology doesn't favor us. Then there's something must be wrong. There's all this brouhaha over electronic transmission with regards to the Electoral Act. Now it is mandatory to transmit electronically, but where is the infrastructure? We have seen it in NBA now, who hardly have up to, I don't think they have up to 700,000 members, 400,000 members total.
The winning vote is just 12,000.
They are not up to 500,000. Total member of registered members of NBA in Nigeria is not up to 500,000. And we are still talking about delayed OTPs, registration, all sorts of stuff that was calculated, I think, to cast doubt on the results. The same thing with the 2023 election. The only thing that was wrong there was the delay in uploading the results to the IREV, and that created, the stuff are still there up to today. I believe you want to go and check it yourself. you know. And Mr. Dino talked about preparation. People are not prepared. Okay, they are not prepared to even verify the votes that are coming in. You don't have this. You don't have the structure to even verify what is going on, but you are ready to complain that because I don't know what is happening, then something must be happening that is not favorable to me.
Again, just to quickly add, I think our attitude as a people too, you know, I must win. We are hopeful people when it comes to election loss. We rather burn down the system, you know, discredit everything that has to do with democracy when we've lost. But when we win, democracy is working. Yes. So that kind of thing, I think we should now have a general conversation over how to compensate people who lose this election. Yes, it is not a small fry. When people go out there, spend all their resources and then come out losing, and then you tell them to wait for another 4 years to come up.
Like I mean, shadow president.
Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, it could be in form of, you know, a bit of, you know, maybe a tenth or a hundredth of whatever you spend, just something to make you feel like, okay, it's not. Otherwise, this system will keep having this conversation. Like I said, one of the most professional bodies in Nigeria is the Nigerian Bar Association, and if they are having hoopla over elections, just like garage people, then it tells us that democracy as it is in Nigeria is under threat, because every time we keep hearing we'll be discrediting the judiciary, like in 2023, we'll be discrediting INEC, like in every year since 1999. You know, so we must have a way to tamper, or rather, yes, to tamper situations down. You know, to temper things down when it comes to democracy. Otherwise, this conversation will just keep continuing.
I guess so. Let's try and believe that her being a woman is not part of the problem right now.
Okay, so that angle might be it as well, because you know, let's not you know, mince words here. The Nigerian society is very, very patriarchal, very, very patriarchal. It can't be hidden. Her being a woman might be, because she contested against 2 men,
yes,
and she won. Mr. Nyogi, you know, on the sideline of this show this morning, was asking me if there was a zoning, you know, arrangement within the NBA, because all of them came from the Southwest. I said I wasn't too sure. So that might be another factor as well, because, you know, we must satisfy every social angle in Nigeria, yes, for everybody to be pacified.
The interesting fact now is that the NBA president is a woman. The CJN, Chief Justice of Nigeria, is a woman. The president of the appeals court is a woman.
Then I take it over, I can see.
And now we have the NBA president as now a woman. So the judiciary has been cornered
by women.
Yes, true.
So we are now desensitizing ourselves from patriarchy.
Yes, we are. Thank you so much. On our second story, 4 police officers have been arrested over the alleged extortion of Dr. Musa Aliyu, chairman of the Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission, also known as ICPC. The incident reportedly occurred during a roadblock operation in Abuja. Police authorities said the officers are in custody while investigations continued. Authorities have also clarified that Dr. Musa Aliyu was not arrested, despite claims circulating on social media. He was the alleged victim in the incident. This is becoming way too common. I don't know. It is becoming an everyday thing to open the news and hear somebody was extorted. It's so common now that people know when I pass this checkpoint, I'm supposed to give so amounts to this police officer that are there, or they know that this is the police officer that are there that's going to allow me pass. And I feel like it's destroying what the youths, or actually the kids, see nowadays, because that is not supposed to be a new normal.
Well,
for
Nana,
us.
This is karma on a national level. This is karma on a national level, because I mean, if you can't just get it, I mean, this can't be funnier than this. You went and chose the wrongest person to extort. I pity those police officers.
I do.
But it does show that we really haven't been cured of this habit of graft. And Nigerian police has been infamous for that. Let's be candid. We are not saying, I know policemen who are upright and honest, and
There are.
you
It
can't
cannot
find-
be all of
and,
them.
And yes, and you'll be surprised that most of them are in the majority. They're professional in their conduct. But then you have this cadre of policemen who, I was watching a video of one AIG driving around somewhere in Edo State or the southeast, and encountering policemen in various degrees of unpreparedness for their job.
Yes, in slippers, I believe.
Yes. And when you see this, you kind of worry that if this is the kind of policemen we have in Nigeria, it is not a surprise that we have this much insecurity. But then it is the same police force who very much assisted in the rescue of the kidnapped victims in Oyo, according to the reports that we got in the aftermath. The police can be effective.
Yes.
You know that also when you lose your phone. They can be very, very effective. However, I don't know what is missing in the equation. Is it that they are not properly motivated? Is it that they do not believe that what they are earning is enough, and that will that even stop them from extorting and trying to shake people down anytime they meet them? But then there is also a tradition of Nigerians who actually encourage this practice of tipping policemen whenever they pass checkpoints. So expectation now means the tradition of Nigerians. Usually you do that when you say you are showing appreciation. I've seen a lot of Nigerians who actually came together and rewarded some of those traffic policemen who are actually very good at their job. But then the police force too needs to create a system of feedback where the general populace can actually identify officers who have been very good at rendering their services to the public, and letting the police establishment know that these people deserve to be rewarded. Or even a citizens group can come out and say, okay, these are our nominees for stellar performance, professionalism in the police force for this year. You nominate the people you think are good, and but this requires...
but nominating the people we think are good doesn't necessarily remove the bad egg that's in the system.
No, but it creates a climate in which
it creates a system
police
where
are incentivized to be professional.
A system for the police to, should I say, hide their wrongdoings just to be able to get all those rewards that you're talking about.
Where are you going to hide your wrongdoings? If you are doing this with the citizens, now they've picked on no other person than the ICPC chairman. Can you believe that?
Exactly my point.
I will approach this thing on two fronts. The first front is to cite an example in history. Sometime in the 2000s, the former IGP of police, then he was commissioner of police in Lagos State, he decided to drive himself to work, without the entourage and all that of the police, the retinue of security.
Too.
Yes, and he was in plain clothes. So he's been hearing complaints about a notorious checkpoint somewhere on Akpongbo Bridge, people conversant with Lagos. So on his way, this is his own account, on his way he saw a policeman who stopped him on the road because he was young. And he asked him, young man, can you identify yourself? And he asked the police, based on what he knew of the police, that please identify yourself as a police as well. Wearing uniform is not enough. And the police said, okay, so you want to prove to me that you know law. He called his superior and they packaged him and took him to their police station. So they kept him behind the counter and he was there for a while, and then the DPO came. So when the DPO came, they were greeting him and he was on the road, and other policemen were saying that we caught one stubborn man who is showing that he knows the law. And when the DPO came, he just looked at his face and looked at the picture.
None of them thought to look at the picture.
And he immediately recognized him. Everybody escaped. He even said the DPO escaped through the window.
Oh my
and
God.
They ran off. He said he just picked up his car key, got into his car, and all the way to Ken Salem house in Lion Building or wherever the headquarters is in Lagos. He didn't even see one policeman on the road because the word was spreading that they've caught the CP erroneously and all that. So So it's a cultural thing. It shows a disconnect between the hierarchy of the Nigerian police and the low ranks, the rank and file who does. So that for them not to be able to identify who law officers are. And this ICPC man that was caught in Banex, he was extorted of 53,000 naira.
Yes,
which is what you and I suffer. The ordinary man suffer. So it's a case of where it's an egalitarian situation then. egalitarian situation.
Egalitarian extortion.
Extortion, yes. Egalitarian extortion in Nigeria where we extort ourselves. That's on the one hand. Then the second hand in advocating for the police. The police or policing in Nigeria is a reflection of ourselves. We take the low lives, in quotes, and give them this position to secure us. If you just oppose this with how we hire security guards in our individual homes, these are just random people.
Yes.
And we just put them in front of our house to guard our lives, safeguard our well-being. This is the same thing we do. And the way we stretch them is pitiful. You see some policemen being on the beat for up to 3 weeks. Some of them will look like somebody who went into mud. You can't even look at their faces. So it shows that as a people, we have not treated the police very well, or how we treated the police is how the police is treating us.
Yes.
So maybe we need to start recruiting exclusive graduates, train them very well, give them a prideful uniform that they will wear, and pay them very, very well, to the point whereby, people will be scrambling to join it. We won't be begging people to join the police. It will be a top position. The way people scramble to get DSS positions is the way we should be scrambling to get police position, because there will be honor there, there will be, there will be pride there, and then we'll be able to get a feedback that is useful to us as a people, because we've invested in it.
So we should say the higher ups are one of the reasons why we're having all
the
this,
police,
because they don't know what is happening underneath them.
Yes, the
it's
police,
just what is in front of them.
Absolutely, and I agree.
And the issue of pay is very, very important.
They probably know. They probably know as well, because I had a friend one time who was working at the police pensions, and I asked him, I said, what do you think is the problem of the police? He said the police is the problem of the police. And his position was that the low ranks who ended up becoming the IG or the top people in policing structure do not even push to change some of the sufferings they suffer through to get to the top. So every time they get appointed as the IG, they read out, we remove the roadblocks, we don't bribe anybody, even if they hold gun and they point it at you, don't give them money. Excuse me, I'll give them money because I want to leave.
Of course, yes.
So they reel out all these things out, and then it still goes back to the normal thing. So no strong efforts to change some of the sufferings they went through, because these things are still there.
It's just like a continued thing, a loop.
Yes,
and the issue of pay is also very, very important. I was going through some content yesterday, and somebody mentioned that doctors get paid more than governors in the US. And a lot of people didn't believe it. So I decided to check myself. And true, in most of these Western countries, doctors actually earn more annually than their
politicians.
And governors, to be precise. The most, what is surprising is that the United States president earns less than an average doctor in the United States. Basic salary. Yes, he gets a lot of perks, he lives in free houses, he lives free vehicles and everything like that. But basically, his earnings is very, very moderate. And doctors actually earn more than, I think they said the US president earns about $450,000 a year. And an average doctor earns about $500,000 a year. And this says
such
a lot
things should not even be a
about
debate.
giving priority and compensation to the people who actually affect our life the most.
Of course.
Teachers, doctors, policemen,
fire service,
soldiers. This will actually drive people in a different direction. You won't want to be working in NNPC and all that stuff, because you know that.
You can work in NNPC. There's nothing wrong in working in any of those places. But the point is that if it is competitive, you know that if you go there, like I always say, what motivates people are different. There was this friend of mine too, let me cite that again, who traveled to the United States a long time ago, and in the early stages, he was working at a gas station, in the supermarket, in the gas station where people come and buy, and he said some young boys came around to rob. So they kept coming, and at one point in time, he just lost it. I said, these small boys, you know, he came with the Nigerian mentality and chased them down an alley, and one of them pulled a gun at him. So he said, right there, his light flashed through in his eyes, and he knew that something had to be done, that he couldn't continue in that job, because one day they will come and they shoot him and he will die.
Yes.
So he said, instead of me dying on the streets in the United States, let me join the United States Army. At least, if I die, the part of the compensation, they will send it to my mother in Nigeria. Aha. So if you join the police and you end up dying in the line of duty, you know that a huge compensation is coming to your family. I think, was it 3 or 4 months ago or 2 months ago that we went on a beat to interview policemen and their widows. And
yes,
some of the
police day for police
day, yes. And you could see the pain in the widows. Saying some of them are, even though
they are suffering, they are going through a lot. Yes.
So these are the things that we know, that when you die in the line of duty for the country or for the police, you are held at a high, and your family will not suffer.
Yes. Thank you so much for today. For more details, subscribe to Citizen TV on Facebook, Instagram, X, formerly known as Twitter and TikTok. My thanks to my guest, Mr. Adeniran and Mr. Rishi. Thank you so much for having me. This is Citizen TV. I am Nana Daneji. Have a lovely day.
Alhamdulillah.